Welcome to Formula World. I'm your host Dylan Shelley, and here's what's on this episode. First up on Formula World, Vettel wanted to see if a return to Red Bull was possible. Sebastian Vettel was beaten in the driver's standings by his much younger teammate in 2019, and many saw that as a change in the status quo at Ferrari. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko has revealed that Vettel actually approached Red Bull for a possible switch to his former team for the 2021 season. Sebastian wanted to see if a return in 2021 is possible, but that is impossible for us. As is alluded by the aforementioned statement by Marko, it is clear that Vettel won't likely have Red Bull as a possible option for the future. Most of this is due to the money that would be involved to get Vettel back at Red Bull, as clarified by Marko. It is impossible because Sebastian, as a four-time world champion, still has some financial demands. We have a long-term contract with Max, and that deal is not exactly cheap. We, therefore, cannot afford to provide a second driver with such an amount. He even suggested that Mercedes might be a more feasible option for the German. Vettel would be an interesting option for Mercedes. With his German passport, he really has an advantage there. But the question is whether Toto Wolff and Lewis Hamilton are open to the arrival of Vettel. If the car suits him, I am confident that he can still perform. He will simply have to perform in 2020. If he can beat Leclerc, then Ferrari will also have to change his mind. Honda very focused on making that next step. The Honda-Red Bull marriage was considered by many in F1 as a risky venture, but it has so far turned out to be better than most people in the sport had expected. However, it still wasn't good enough for a title push. Apparently, 2020 is the year that they will finally be able to do just that if Red Bull's team principal Christian Horner is to be believed. Honda looks quite happy. They've done plenty of mileage on their dynos. We've obviously been working very closely with them and the integration of the engine into the chassis. They're very focused on making that next step. Horner went on to say that he feels that Honda share the same level of commitment as Red Bull. They share that motivation and desire of competitiveness and to really build on the 3 wins that they achieved last year and all that other stuff that came with it. The turnaround they've achieved has been phenomenal when you consider where they were 5 years ago to where they are now. Fast feed. In case the Chinese Grand Prix is cancelled, F1 Managing Director Ross Brawn wants to find a hole later in the season where the Grand Prix can take place without affecting any other race. Helmut Marko feels that a calendar of more than 22 races is possible if the calendar is well coordinated. Ralf Schumacher's son David Schumacher has been promoted to Formula 3 and is aiming to finish as high as possible. Ferrari sporting director Laurent Mekies sees Vettel as a massively important figure for the Scuderia. Racing Point's Otmar Safnauer has confirmed that while their budget has expanded, they don't have all the money in the world. And Haas driver Kevin Magnussen has dreams of driving for one of the front-running teams and wants to be consistent to achieve said dream. Will Magnussen ever race for a top team? Be sure to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.